we go. Just let that one in. Bear with. Okay, so welcome everybody to the first Cosmic Sisterhood of 2023 and the first in this new format. So like I said, hi Sharon, some of you are old hat Cosmic Sisterhood members who've been around for quite a while. We have a couple of new people and there's some people who might be watching back who are new too. So thank you all for being here. I love that the Cosmic Sisterhood has reincarnated and become something else, because at one point I didn't know what was going to happen to it. But I also didn't really want to let it go because it was such a valuable thing to have through lockdown. And I think it helped me as much as it helped some of you guys. And now here we are with a brand new year, which is 2023. So today's session is really going to be about welcoming in that new energy, which I think finally we might be starting to experience. We've all been sat with, well, I know a lot, me and my clients and many people I know in real life, I felt like we've dragged the end of 2022 into 2023 with us. And there's been a lot of difficult, tumultuous energy for a lot of people, a lot of endings, a lot of surprises, and some really profoundly difficult stuff too, deaths and grief and losses in all kinds of different ways. And sorry, my tortoise has just scared me. It's on the floor moving around. It's trying to get into a bag. It's making a noise. Anyway, so oh, hang on. Sorry, someone else coming in. So we're moving, hopefully, with this new moon energy that is happening today. Hi, Ren. We are moving past this kind of heaviness that we've dragged in from the end of last year and starting to hopefully move towards something lighter, something that feels a bit fresher, starting to move towards our hopes and ambitions and the other side of the more dramatic and kind of tricky energies that we have been working with. I'm sorry, I've just got to move this tortoise. Hang on. She's my tortoise. And she's walking all over like a bag and making a right racket. This is Acorn Winterbottom. Anyway, she's huge. When I got her, she was about as big as that, and now she's just giant. Anyway, I feel bad. She can't go out in the cold, so I feel bad for her. So I let her have free run of the kitchen, but she gets up to stuff. Anyway, so we're dragging all of that. We've dragged the energy in. We've kind of had that Mercury retrograde, the Mars retrograde. There's conflicts and communication difficulties, like on a loop with lots of different scenarios. So hopefully that's the kind of thing that this new moon is going to be really helping us move past and into something that's going to feel a little bit more powerful, a little bit more like we've got some choices and we can move and kind of maybe embrace some decisions that we've made as well. So with that in mind, what I was going to do today, I want to run us a lovely little meditation. It's based on the swords from the tarot cards. But you can, if you know about the swords in the tarot cards, and you can think about their energies. So their energies, people don't really like the swords cards because they're quite challenging and they ask us to cut stuff away from our lives. But I feel like many of us have been in that circumstance anyway of cutting stuff away. So really I think in the heart, the swords are very much about reclaiming power. And sometimes you have to cut stuff away to get to that space. So we're going to do a little swords meditation. To call back our power, really. And then I'll pull us a few cards and we'll be finishing at 1:45. And we'll do one of these half-hour live meetings every month. I'll be uploading a meditation soon as well. And then just keep your eye on the Sisterhood for lots of regular cards coming through to kind of guide you through the rest of the weeks. Okay, so if you wanted to switch your screens off to do the meditation, that's absolutely fine. And otherwise, let's begin. So for the newbies, people who were not here previously, we always begin our meditations or even our sessions together just by taking some lovely breaths together. It's really nice and easy. So you can put your hands over your heart, or if you wish, You may put one hand over your heart and one over your womb space. And we're going to take 3 lovely deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And as you do that, just imagine your energies dropping back into your body, pulling everything back to you that's perhaps been a little bit fractured for a while. And then keeping your eyes closed, you can continue to take deep breaths if you wish, if it feels nice, if that's something you're enjoying, or you can return to your normal breathing. And just taking a moment, we're going to just actively disconnect from anything that is kind of attached to us, that feels a bit toxic, or that anything that's dragging us down, that we don't even necessarily need to know what these things are. It just might be that there's certain energies, there's, stuff we've brought in from the past, stuff that's ready to be kind of plucked away now. So with your eyes closed, or you can just open them if you wanted to, just to see what I'm doing. I'm just imagining that I'm just pulling negative energy away from myself. So it's like giving myself a bit of a dust down, really, but also just pulling and pushing it away. It feels like a really nice, effective way to kind of cleanse yourself, clear yourself. I was taught healing at a very young age, and it's just one of the most simple things I've ever been taught. And one of the things is just believing that you have the ability and not feeling daft, not too daft whilst doing it. So you might want to work for your chakras, so head, forehead, throat, heart, solar plexus, your sacral, which is around your womb space, your lower back, just kind of anywhere else as well. But if you have any like areas of pain in your body, just kind of pushing it all off, pushing it away, smoothing down your legs, and then maybe just taking, when you feel like you've done enough, just smoothing it down and just imagining and calling upon any forces that you believe in, whether it's God, angels, guides, fairies at the bottom of the garden, just asking them to kind of help with the process of releasing anything moving forward. And just smoothing that energy down and bringing yourself back to a relaxed state. We're going to do a little visualization and guided meditation. So just go as far as your mind will go with it. I know some people struggle with visualizing, so it may just be that you need to sort of conceptualize it slightly different, and that's fine. Just allow yourself this time even just to breathe and listen to my voice. So I want you to imagine that you're on a beautiful beach somewhere, and it's like very, very, very early morning, so it's still quite dark. But when you look out across the ocean, which is quite peaceful and quite calm, you can just see the slightest little sliver of sunlight beginning to come up. However, on the other side, if you were to turn around and look the other direction, you can see the moon and you can see stars and you can see nighttime. So you're connected on this beach to all that is, the day, the night, the earth, the fire of the sun, the moon, the water, the air. It's all kind of with you right now, all the elements, all that can be, perhaps hearing a little bit of the start of the dawn chorus as the birds begin to wake. And just taking a moment to have a look around that beautiful beach space. And imagining yourself just gently walking along the waterline. So you have bare feet and you're perhaps just paddling ever so gently, feeling really safe, really held. looking to the stars, looking to the rising sun, recognizing that things are shifting within your life and that perhaps at this moment you're in that in-between space where it's neither nor. But that in time, that sun will rise, things will be clear. And in the meantime, you can just empower and embody and call back everything that you are so that when the sun does rise, you're fully ready for the new day. So walking along the beach, just gently strolling, enjoying this moment of peace. When you look up ahead and you notice a glint in the sand, and the closer you get to it, you notice it's metallic and strong, and you realize it's a sword, and it's not just any sword, it's your sword, and it's in the sand as if someone has pushed it down with the handle, almost like the sword in the stone kind of scenario. And you recognize it as your sword, as something, a tool that you can use to create boundaries, a tool that you perhaps have used unconsciously to help you through difficult scenarios, to cut things from your life that no longer serve. And you wonder maybe why your sword is here, and perhaps for some time it's felt like it's not been in your possession, but it's your chance now to reclaim your sword. So bending forward to pull the sword from the sand, and it slips out easily into your hand. Taking a moment to just admire it, to look at what it looks like. What's the metal it's made of? What color is it? Does it have engravings upon it? Is it a fancy, gorgeous designed sword, or is it just plain and easy? And it feels easy to wield in your hands. It feels familiar. There's nothing too heavy about it. So once you're done admiring its colors and its shape, you might perhaps practice just swishing it through the air, feeling the slicing and the cutting and how smoothly it moves for you. And you feel completely safe holding this sword, and whilst it's a weapon, it feels like a powerful weapon of self-knowing and truth for you. And now holding the sword by the hilts, by the handle, I want you to imagine that you begin to draw a circle in the sand all around you, spinning gently with the sword, creating a very clear line in the sand that goes in a gorgeous circle. And perhaps taking that sword 3 times around in a circle. And then if you wish, turning and going back 3 times in the other direction. I'll give you a moment to just imagine yourself creating this deep and powerful line within the sand. When you feel that you have created your circle, you're recognizing it's a beautiful circle, a powerful circle of protection. And it's a space for you to begin to return to your power. So imagine yourself sitting or lying within your circle. And as you do so, you can repeat these words after me. If you feel like you want to, everybody's muted, so you can repeat them out loud, or you may just wish to repeat them in your mind. But I call back my power. I call back the power that was taken from me. And I call back the power that I gave away. And immediately upon thinking and feeling and being with those words, you start to feel parts of you returning. You may even see them as like shards of light just immediately because you called them. They're on their way back and they're coming through the circle because they are you, whereas nothing else can get through the circle. But these aspects of you just fly back into your heart, into your body, absorbing and feeling like they're reinvigorating who you are becoming. And so we'll say it again. I call back my power. I call back my power that was taken from me. And I call back my power that I gave away. I call back all of my power. I call back my power that was taken from me. And I call back my power that I gave away. And then just taking a moment to just be with this power return. So you might feel like you're inclined to move, to flow, to dance, to stretch, to yawn into this power return, but just making yourself open and trusting that what is coming back was always yours, that it will infuse your body, your mind, and your spirit as you move into the rest of this year. And without needing to know how you're going to move forward or what's going to come up for you as we move into 2023, just this beautiful expression of power returning is just enough for this moment. So imagine yourself moving into that, noticing if there's anything about the energy that perhaps naturally makes you want to circle your hips or just kind of move back and forth, or just sit really peacefully and still. You might want to yawn or stretch. This power is coming back, and as it does so, it brings healing and magic and self-knowing, things you'd forgotten, and it will integrate itself slowly over time and return slowly over time. So opening yourself to it now will allow that energy to begin to come back now, but also in weeks and months. And as it does, you might notice little shifts in your persona, or things that you will tolerate or things that you will not tolerate. So taking a beautiful deep breath and trusting that the circle continues to stay with you even after you've left it, and that the returning power will continue to return even beyond this moment. Taking your sword and placing it into your sword belt that perhaps you hadn't even realized you were wearing. It's always been there, ready to hold your defenses and your power. So taking your sword with you, placing it into its sheath, and beginning to walk up the beach, noticing that since you began, the sun is shining a little brighter, the birds are tweeting a little louder, and the moon and the stars, while still vivid in the sky, are beginning to give way to a lighter blue sky. Beginning to walk your way back up the beach to where you first entered, feeling a little more whole, a little bit stronger. Taking some nice breaths to just really integrate all of the energy that's returning to you. And then noticing the beach beginning to evaporate away, bringing your consciousness back to this exact moment, to your home or wherever you happen to be sat. Keeping your eyes closed for a moment and just taking a couple of deep, refreshing breaths, welcoming in the new moon energy, allowing it to revitalize you along with your sword and your power. And then whenever you're ready, feeling your feet on the floor, grounding yourself back into this reality. Maybe having a stretch, having a wiggle, whatever feels right to you to kind of associate with your physical self. And then whenever you're ready and the moment feels right, you can open your eyes and come back to the room. You can switch your screen back on if you wish. And I will be here shuffling cards. I hope that was nice. I'm going to open the chat box as well, just in case anybody doesn't like to speak but would like to say anything. So every time we do one of these meetings, they're all going to be a little bit different. As the people who've been in the sisterhood for a while know, sometimes I lead them with things like this. Other times we have a bit more of a chat. It really just depends on what's going on. But hopefully this is a nice meditation that will start to kind of recall all of the things that perhaps we feel like we've lost a little bit. So I'm going to take some tarot cards. Well, I've got my Rebel Heart Tarot here. I've got a couple of other decks just to see what the cards, the divine wants to add to whatever we've experienced. If anybody does want to share any experiences or feelings that they've had in the chat, you're very welcome to do so. Right, so our card for us is a little collective of cosmic sisters. Well, I like this one. It's the Eight of Pentacles. So for me, this is very much about, as our power returns, as we step into hopefully a more kind of clarity as we move into 2023, and perhaps some of the heaviness moves off of us, we have the Eight of Pentacles, which is about alignment. It's about whatever's happened is bringing us into perfect alignment with our heart's desires in terms of our work and our material worlds. So it would suggest that perhaps whatever we're going to be doing over the next year, and I will say over the next year, I wouldn't normally say over the next year, but because we are at the start of the year and this is our first meeting, this feels like we're moving towards this kind of beautiful, equitable balance within work, life, and play, and potentially moving towards a kind of work, whether it's moving within the job that we already do or having some kind of new business idea. It's bringing us into a place that feels really comfortable and that feels like play rather than work. So it's a beautiful balance to be struck, and I would definitely accept that and hope that that is what's going to happen for me. So I would say, you know, it's that doing what you feel passionate about. And if you aren't, or if you not quite there yet, perhaps over the coming year, that is something that you will explore a little bit more, or how you can feel more passionate about the work that you already do, and find a kind of beautiful balance there that is fruitful in terms of money. We've got all these pentacles down the bottom, but also she's artistic, she's got her paintbrushes, so it's playful and creative and inquisitive. We've also got this like monkey head, so it's got that kind of high energy of getting things done and being daft, and yeah, lots of fun, and also juggling different aspects of what you do. So here she's got the computer, here she's got the paint, just like getting those kind of vibes right. So it's an interesting card for the year as we move ahead. Then we have, I'm going to pull us a card from Soulful Woman. Let's see what this one has to say. I haven't been well. I've been like overkilling on the tarot lately, because obviously with my deck coming out, I've kind of missed a little bit of oracle magic, which is obviously quite a different energy. So our card for the beginning of the Cosmic Sisterhood as we move into whatever comes the rest of the year. Oh, this is nice. We have grace, which I feel like that is something, it's not, yeah, it's a word you hear a lot, I suppose, in spiritual circles, but it's not really a sort of pop culture word anymore. It's a bit, it sounds a bit old-fashioned, or like somebody's name perhaps, but it's, when I open to the deep source of grace, the flow of my life feels effortless and vibrant. And I would say for most of us, perhaps the flow of your life has not felt effortless or vibrant for quite some time. It certainly hasn't for me. It's been like quite chaotic, but hopefully this is the shift of energy that this new moon is going to bring forward for us. So actually that goes so nicely with this card, because this is like being in a state of grace as well. So it's just, I guess there's that surrender that comes with this, potentially a little bit of sacrifice as we change our lives up, but also then just moving into the moment as it comes and going with it and being more graceful about it. So that feels quite lovely, actually. And I'll do one final one, which is Lantern Oracle, one of my faves. So our final card to carry us into the Cosmic Sisterhood and into 2023 together is, oh, Carolina loves the combination of these two cards. They do go so well together. They feel like floating. They feel like everything coming together, which would be so gorgeous. And I think sometimes we just can't see how that's going to happen. And yes, we've got this new moon, but it doesn't mean we've still not got heaviness upon us. And it can feel impossible how you're going to get anywhere other than where you are. But actually those two cards are like this beautiful floating and transformation, and suddenly things are different, and you'll be like, oh wow, all that shit that happened, that kind of worked out for me, hopefully. Okay, so the final card, oh, this is good, right? Radical self-acceptance. And the message there is, you are perceived the way you perceive yourself. So you are perceived the way you perceive yourself. So if all the energy and the darkness and whatever you've been experiencing, tumult and trauma and difficulties, have begun to weigh heavily on you, and you feel judged by other people, then that's your perception. Or if you feel not good enough, or you feel less than, then that's how you're going to be perceived by others. And actually this is about finding a little reprieve within the self-judgment to begin to, it's cheesy, but to love ourselves. And this is one thing that is a returning theme within the Cosmic Sisterhood. And I think that's because as women, we are held to such a ridiculous standard. And it's ingrained in us from a young age by culture to be a certain way. And then when you don't match up to that, it kind of just creates this very dangerous position of not accepting yourself, or believing that you should be like some other person. So between these three cards, I feel like they're like a cosmic high five that's like, it's almost backwards. It almost feels like this one should be first. First, you've got to accept yourself. You've got to do the self-love. You've got to find the magic within, even within the faults and the fury and the rage and the sadness, and the things that you perceive to be not perfect about yourself. You have to find those, like find the perfection in the moment, which is an ongoing job. I get that, but it's there for us to start to grasp, and then move into this state of grace, which is like accepting the moment as it comes, being peaceful with ourselves and others, and finding a flow. And then this will lead to this satisfaction within our daily material worlds, whether that's in work or where we live. But it's very much about the material. So it's almost like the work we have to do spiritually and personally to get to what we want as the physical outcome. So I hope those three cards, they feel super powerful. I'm going to keep them out and take a picture and put them up on the group so that we can revisit them. But yeah, oh, cosmic cuddle. They do feel like a cosmic cuddle, Lisa. I love that. And I've loved this session. I hope everybody's enjoyed it. I know it's a bit short. I know we've toyed with different time sessions and lengths over the couple of years with the Cosmic Sisterhood. Hopefully half an hour is a nice little kind of bit of respite from the world, just to think about things a little bit different. And I'm just really glad that you all joined and that you're here. So thank you so much. And have a wonderful new moon and wonderful Saturday, whatever you're doing. Okay, ladies. I'll see you again soon. Thank you.
Bye, ladies.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.